Hello, I'm Jake Roehn, and today I want to be talking about bunt play number 1 and bunt play number 3. Those are two different defensive plays that we run throughout the course of the game if it's a bunt situation. But before we get started on that, I want to talk about fake fundamentals brought to my attention by Brian McCormick. As he explained, they are modified practices such as the three-man weave in basketball, and it does not involve every player on the court or on the field. To relate that to a bunt play, what we do is pitchers do separate drills. For example, one guy will go out onto the field and we will work on zones. There are 3 zones. There's a pick and throw, a step and throw, and a flip and follow. So wherever the bunt gets laid down, that determines how the pitcher fields the ball and how he delivers the ball to first. So during this segment, one guy goes out and there's 15 other pitchers that aren't playing in the drill. We probably run through that 5 or 6 times, so we're only really running out 5 or 6 different guys to do the drill. An alternative practice to this would be to get everyone involved by incorporating different positions, do maybe 10 more reps so that everybody gets a chance to step onto the field. So we have our third baseman, our first baseman, pitchers and catchers all involved in one drill where they have to use communication to see who gets the ball and makes the play. So after incorporating that, we can incorporate into a game-like drill where we have our bunt play number 1. So here we have the pitcher lined up in his normal position, the catcher behind home plate, first baseman over by first, the second baseman will be there, and then we have our third baseman and shortstop. And in bunt play 1, our main goal is to get an out. So no matter the situation, usually it's with a runner on first, maybe sometimes a runner on second, but usually with a runner on first early in a ball game, innings 1 through like 5 or 6. Here the third baseman will go through a series of signs and he will initiate the play by wherever he touches. The shoulder is the sign for this, so if he touches his shoulder last, we know play 1 is on. After that, the pitcher's job is to deliver a strike to the catcher. Like I explained, there's 3 zones. This here will be the pitcher's step and throw. This will be a flip and follow where he underhand tosses it to first. And over in this section here, he will have to do a pick and throw where he receives the ball and just transfers his weight into the throw because there's not a lot of time for him to move his feet to deliver the throw. So the pitcher in play 1 is crashing towards the first base side very strongly because the first baseman is holding his ground. The third baseman will be crashing in this direction and the catcher will be in here. So the pitcher really has this whole section right in front of home plate that the catcher can't get to. Third baseman has priority over all 3 of them. The pitcher has priority over the catcher. The main goal is to get the out, and if there's a runner on first, we have the shortstop going towards second base. The catcher's crashing, or the third baseman's crashing, which means whoever doesn't receive the ball in this area here has to go cover third. At that time, the second baseman will be backing up first base in case of a bad throw to prevent a run from scoring. Okay, we're going to transfer that into play number 3 now. Play number 3 is a little bit more complex. Everybody's set up the same. You have your pitcher, your catcher, third baseman, first baseman. The only thing that's different in the setup is the positioning of the middle infielders. The shortstop will be hugging that third base side a little bit more because of the way the play develops, and I'll show you here in a second. And the second baseman will be holding the runner on second. When we run play 3, that happens late in the ball game, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, when it's a close game, when we're either up by 1 or down by 1 or tied. In this situation, we are selling out to get the out at third. We're not worried about getting the out at first or second. You'll have a runner on second and a runner on first. The objective, obviously, to get it out here. So when the third baseman, again, will go through the signs, and the last sign he touches, which will be the wrist in this situation, is explaining that play 3 is on. During that, afterwards, the pitcher will come set into a set position where his hands come together. At that time, the third baseman and the first baseman will crash hard. The pitcher will then deliver the ball, and as the ball is bunted, the play is on. There are 3 areas in this, much like the last one, but the pitcher is only covering one. This here is the pitcher's zone. The first baseman has this zone here, and the third baseman has this zone here. The objective is to position your body to make the play at third. So if the first baseman's coming in, he has to angle himself, open his shoulders so that he's facing third base. The pitcher has to get around the ball, and the third baseman has to get around the ball so that they're fielding the ball with their shoulders pointing at third base. During that time, when all that's going on, and the catcher, again, gets the area in front of home plate, at this time, the shortstop is beating the runner to third so that we can throw the ball to him before this guy gets there. The second baseman is holding the guy on second so that the runner doesn't get too far off the base, and he stays there at second so that it gives us a chance to get the out at third. The reasoning for fake fundamentals in baseball is to increase the variability because everyone is moving to their designated areas, and also involves outfielders because during bunt plays, outfielders aren't involved. So to make it more game-like, it is necessary to make the outfielders runners. Tell them to put pressure on the defense so that they have to make quick decisions and get the ball to where they need to go while under pressure. According to Brian McDormand's 5 fake fundamentals of basketball, the overanalysis of sport becomes more difficult because games become more complex, and fake fundamentals help slow the game down so that players can understand the important fundamentals and execute it when the time comes. Thank you for listening.